I want to ask you about current energy prices and Iran, if I could. So Iran makes 70% of its revenue from oil. It's doubled that oil output since 2019, adding $40 billion to revenues. So are the president's current energy policies giving Iran enough money to fund terror groups? Because the price of oil has gone up under this president. The former President Trump, the average price of Brent oil was $58. Under this president, it's $83 a barrel. So the price of oil is more. Is that giving Iran enough money to fund these terror groups in the Middle East?
I mean, I wholeheartedly disagree that our actions are giving. Is that what you're saying? Can you say that again?
The current energy policies in the U.S.
From our energy policies.
Yeah, seeing the price of oil go up, because when you restrict supply here in the United States, it's forcing to get the global supply from somewhere else. OPEC is cutting prices of oil, so the price of oil goes up.
Yeah, and we're not part of OPEC, as you know.
Right.
And so they're going to make their decisions on whatever they decide. We are not a member of OPEC.
But the administration has decided to regulate the oil industry here in the U.S. and restrict investment, future investment in the oil supply in the U.S. And so as the price of oil goes up, is that giving Iran enough money to fund these terror groups?
It seems to be a big jump. And so certainly I'm not going to speak into that type of hypothetical. It sounds like a hypothetical that you're asking me. So certainly I'm not going to weigh into this. I'm just not going to weigh into a hypothetical here. Go ahead, Phil. There's the Speaker Pro Tem, obviously, right? So he's by default is there. But I mean, look, I mean, we say this, I know we say this ad nauseum. We were joking around with Kayla, I think it was Kayla, I can't remember, on this. It is for them to fix, right? It is for them to decide who is going to be the speaker. Them meeting the House Republicans. They gotta get to work here. The American people is counting on us. And the president is doing his job. He's doing his job domestically and as commander-in-chief. We have to see House Republicans do their job as well. Thanks, everybody. See you Thursday.
When the negotiations were going on before, you guys referenced pretty frequently the deal that former Speaker McCarthy, and the president had out of the debt ceiling talks. Yeah. Given the state of Republican leadership right now, do you guys still see that framework as sort of operative, or do you think we'll be starting sort of from square one when they go into the negotiations?
So if we go back to the budget agreement a couple of months ago, it was something that, again, House Republicans, 2/3 of them voted for it. It got bipartisan support. We're at a point where we're talking about the supplemental budget, right, which is something that is common. It is not unusual for the administration to ask for a supplemental request.
Yeah. You said that in addition to sort of disaster relief, it might include child care and other priorities, and so I'm wondering if this may push beyond the sort of deficit cuts that you had agreed to as part of that deal.
No, I understand the question. Look, supplementals are, as you know, not unusual to ask. These are domestic priorities that the president thinks are incredibly important. And so this is something that's been part of the president's platform for some time. And so he's gonna put out his domestic supplemental in the next day or two. He'll lay that out for Congress, and we'll continue to have those conversations. But he thinks the reason he's asking for it because he actually believes it's very important, and it's not unusual for the administration to ask for a supplemental budget.